Hey guys, welcome to Friday Night for Coming Out Tarot. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. I'm going to explain a little bit. Hey Beck, I'm going to explain a little bit about what kind of tarot reader I am for people who don't know. I am not a predictive tarot reader, so if you're looking for someone who's going to predict your future, that's not the kind of readings that I do, but I am a reader that gives actionable advice. So I love to help people figure out what the next steps are for them to achieve something, and I am happy to help you get there. Hey X, haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Happy New Year. So what I'll do is I'll start a list, and if you're interested in jumping to the front of the list, then all it takes is a link down there in the profile where you can drop in a $10 donation to be at the front of the list. I will probably be here for about an hour, and then I'm going to go get something to eat, because I know I'm going to be hungry. How was everybody's week? Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do. I had like a plan for dinner, and that was derailed. I knew that what my plan was that wasn't gonna go over well with the choice. Well, how I wanted to make dinner, I knew the husband wasn't gonna go for that. So every time we had brisket, he, because that's what I had, was some brisket, smoked brisket. He likes to have it a certain way, and that's not how I was going to cook it. So, hi Lisa. So we're gonna go out somewhere. I just don't know where we're gonna go yet. That's the plan. Yes. Yeah, pretty picky. There are just certain ways things are done, and apparently the choice that I made was not the right choice. Thanks for retweeting, Lisa. He's like, that's not what we're gonna do. I'm like, all right. So whatever. Geez, Beckett, there must be I hope it's not my connection. It doesn't look like I'm having a problem on my end. So I'm hoping that you're in and out is wherever it is that you're watching from. Sorry you're having trouble. I'm on a little earlier than I normally jump on, and I wanted to make sure that I got a chance to get on here and do some of these readings before I had to run out for dinner. Where have you been? I usually get on Friday nights still. And I'm also usually on Saturdays or Sundays around 11 Central to do tarot lessons. So I do some, got it, sometimes you just gotta step back. So I do some free tarot lessons on Saturdays or Sundays. It depends on which day works out best for me. I might be doing it on Saturday this weekend. And if you're in Chicago, I have a meetup coming up on Tuesday, 2 weeks from now. So not next week, not the week of MLK, but the following week. I think it's the 24th. I have a meetup for how to choose a tarot deck. We're going to be talking about that at the Chicago Public Library. So I'm a little excited about that. I've done that on Periscope, but I'm kind of excited to do it in person and see what people have to say, questions they have to ask in person. Let's see. Weird. Usually, I hope Periscope's not being weird. So now I'm just gonna. There's Beck again. Everything okay, Beck? Okay, good. I just see you in and out, in and out. It didn't look like it was on my end, so I'm hoping that Periscope isn't being weird. Okay. Good, yeah, so so tonight I'm offering, that's weird. Stupid Periscope. So yeah, tonight I'm just doing, she goes again, pull out a couple cards for free readings, and if there ends up being a line of folks, then there's a, okay, good. Then there's a donate button, and you can jump to the front of the line. Or if you're happy with the reading you get, you're welcome to use that donate link, that PayPal link in the profile. The attractiveness. Me with my laundry behind me, and this is the bedroom we don't use unless people are staying over. So, yeah. This room never feels. It's the only room where I get a little bit of privacy and it's kind of quiet. But there's nothing attractive about this room to me. These are the same colors the walls were when we moved in, you know. Perfect. As it should be. Shows I'm domesticated, having laundry behind me. It's been sitting there for like 4 or 5 days. I need to put it away. It's actually driving me nuts. I thought about moving it so I wouldn't have to look at it. Because it's literally driving me crazy that it's still there. How was your week? Uneventful. You'd probably do it wrong, X, but thank you. Wow, mine was crazy. It's just the last few weeks have been really busy for me at work. So I am grateful that Friday is here. I have next week off. So I'm even more grateful for that because my brain needs a break. You had a crazy week too? Yep. Not only has my week been crazy, my staff has been in and out because they've been sick, or just the work that we've had to do has been nuts. So I've had a lot of seasonal staff too that are learning how to do what they need to do, and so there's been a lot going on. All right. So, hey, Sugar. So just to reiterate how to win the bid for the item I wanted. Your tarot card helps you win a bid? That's awesome. What was it you won? Hey, Benjamin. Yeah, Beck, haven't we, I think we've done some readings for you around that. How's it going? Hey Benjamin, so for what I'm doing on Periscope right now, for Friday evenings I get on and I pull 2 cards for folks. In general, it will be a free reading. You're welcome to donate by using the PayPal link on there. And if there's ever a line, the PayPal link will get you to the front of the line. Figure set for €450, 700 euro. Well, congratulations. Great, let's do it, Benjamin. What's your, so 2 cards, one that will describe what's holding you back from achieving whatever it is you want to achieve, and one that can move you forward. Hey Lolita, what's your question, Benjamin? Hey. Needs to be specific. I don't, I'm not a predictive tarot reader, I'm an action-oriented one, so specific is way better than general. My goal is to help you achieve your next step. He fat-shamed 2 of your coworkers. Oh, wow. I'm glad you were able to get out of there. There's no point in staying around that kind of crap. Hey, Island. Medical school and whether or not to stay in Texas. Okay. So do you have a question about medical school or about leaving Texas? Because I'm gonna, for 2 cards, I'm gonna tie you down real tight into one specific thing. So you're hoping you're qualified enough for a good medical school. Okay. So why don't we take a look at what could be holding you back from getting into a prestigious medical school and what could move you forward into getting into one. How does that sound? All right. I don't know how I always do that. All right. Okay, so I'm using the Rider-Waite tonight. I don't normally use the Rider-Waite, but just so you guys know, since I tend to use a different deck frequently, the card that's holding you back, Benjamin, from getting into a prestigious medical school is the High Priestess. I would say the pattern you have of being a like an introspective dreamer, someone who sees the opportunity, is the challenge that's holding you back. And most people would say, hey, being a dreamer is a great idea. It kind of sees where you're going to go, or opens up opportunities on how you can find someplace you'd like to be. I guess, seeing a bigger picture of opportunity. The challenge in that is that you're not actually thinking about the steps it's going to take to get you there. So dreaming about being in this prestigious school or seeing yourself there doesn't actually get you there. It's kind of like that, there's an adage that's been around for a few years now, and probably for longer than that, but it was more prominent when The Secret came out, that book called The Secret, where if you visualize something or see yourself doing it, it will come to you, right? Now there's some merit in that, there's some merit in visualizing, but at some point you actually have to put the rubber to the road and make it happen for yourself, right? So to see the High Priestess for me lets me know that this is a consistent pattern for you to be in that dreamy dream space rather than sharing your goals with other people and then actually sticking to that goal and making it happen. So coming up with the action steps that it takes to get there and then achieving that goal. In fact, I would say it's more of a, yeah, okay, good. So I'm glad that's resonating with you. It's very much a concern for you that people will not like your idea, that you might be hurt by other people because they're like, well, that's dumb, right? If you live in that space of dreamy dream world and then you don't share it with other people, you don't get held accountable for the dream you're trying to achieve, which would require you to put in action steps and move forward. Now I'm going to counterbalance that with a thing that can help move you towards achieving that dream, and that card is the Nine of Pentacles. Now if there was ever a card that said, make sure you've got all your ducks in a row, that you've pulled everything together, that you're prepared for what's to come, that you've learned everything you need to learn, and you've planned extremely well. It's the Nine of Pentacles. So this is achievement at its pinnacle, not pentacle, but pinnacle. It is achievement based on action. So you actually, you have to put in the work in order to get the goal that you want to get, which is that prestigious school. So if you don't sit down and plot out the dream, so here's what I want to achieve, this is what it's going to take to get there, and then get all those action items checked off, you're never going to make it. But that is what will help you get there. Make the list of all of the things you need to do to get into that school so that you can start working backwards from, okay, here's the date that I need, that school starts. And what do I need to do to make sure I meet that date? And what are all the things that I need to do underneath that in order to actually get into a medical school? Because there's a lot of prereq you need to even get there, right? So start figuring out what it is that you need now so that you can be prepared to get in when it's time. And this is clear, to me it is clear preparedness. This is also very in your day-to-day, where your challenge is more of how you approach things in general, right? Yes. So if the MCAT's in April and the applications begin in May, you need to start working backwards from April so that you're ready for that application in May. Because you have to get past the MCAT first, right? You have to have a certain score in order to be able to even apply, right? Hey, Cat Eye. Yep, so 1, you need to know what the score is. 2, this is like your Legally Blonde moment. Have you ever watched Legally Blonde? Like, she needs a score to get in to school, right? So she practices and practices and practices and practices until she meets that score and knows that when she takes the test, she's actually going to get the score she needs. So yeah, okay, great. So this is your Legally Blonde moment. You need to start practicing, 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 study, practice. No more spring break for you, right? You need to work. Hey, Megan. Does that make sense? It sounded like it did, the way we were interacting. I just want to, yeah, okay. Work. Great, awesome. Thank you. That's a great question. I love it when we have questions that can move people forward in something that they really are trying to achieve, because I like to help you get there. I'd love to find ways to help you get there. So, great question. Thank you. X, I'm assuming by a comment you had earlier, you also had a question? Yeah. No, X. Sorry, X and Beck kind of sound the same, don't they? X visionary. You're curious about your future. What are you curious about? What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to get a new job? Are you trying to get a promotion? Are you wondering if you should stay there? Right? I get a lot of questions about work and career and business. I love it. That's a place I love to spend time in. I'm also on this kick about passion lately. Kind of trapped in this one job, but it's from a job center and it's getting me nowhere. Oh, so it's like when you say it's from a job center, you're working as a temporary employee through a service? Yeah, okay. So are you wondering if you should stay with the service? Or are you I was concerned. Are you hoping that they're going to hire you? Are you thinking about applying for jobs? What is it that you're actually asking? Because that could go all over the place. I know some people who love to stay working for agencies like that. They love it. Okay, so are you trying to find, you want another job? Okay. And I'm assuming you want one with a company directly rather than through this temporary agency? Okay, so you're looking for a permanent role. Hey, Tinker, for a job that you like. Okay, let's look then at what could be holding you back from finding that permanent role, and what can move you forward in it. Hey, Buffalo. I love buffalo. It tastes good. Okay. Sackjoy. No, like real I like buffalo wings too, but I mean real buffalo. I like it. It is. I agree. Basically, Okay, okay, X. So to find this job that you're looking for, to find a permanent role in a position that you're going to love doing, I don't think you figured out what you want to do. The card that I'm drawing for what's holding you back, this is the Five of Wands. I think you're still wrestling with what it is that you actually want to do. So you need to narrow that down. I would suggest figuring out what you think your skills are, what industries those best fit in, or how you can apply it to an industry you'd like to be in. Think about how those skills can relate to specific job roles that you might like to be a part of, so that you can find yourself applying for the jobs that you're not only interested in, but in companies that you can find a permanent role in. So right now, I don't think that you've narrowed down who you are and what you like to do. You've got a lot of work to do in order to get there. That's one of the things that actually I like to do with people in the readings, in the full-time readings that I do, the 30 or minutes or the hour ones, is I like to help discover what your skills are and what your hidden skills are that you may not have thought of before. And when you know what those are, then you can start getting more specific about a role and an industry and a company. So I think you need to do some work for yourself. Since you do draw your own cards, you might want to sit down and do a reading for yourself about what are the top 3 skills that you identify with, or that you can find for yourself. Hey lady, and what are the 3 skills that you have that you may not be aware of, like a shadow skill, something you might want to work on, or you might want to hone, or you might want to take to the next level. So that's step 1. That's what's holding you back, is you don't really know what you want to do. And if you don't know what you want to do, then you're not going for stuff that you want to do, and you're just kind of hanging out, spinning your wheels. What can move you forward is trying to write a book. All right, that's a big undertaking. Is the Page of Swords. To me, this is less about the fight forward, less about trying to push your way into something, especially if you're working through what are my skills, what's the role, and what's the industry. This is about talking to people who you know in your network in order to work through identifying those skills and finding the role that is best for you and the industry and possibly the company. So I would recommend that you start to find those people in your network that can help you find that role. But you got to put in the work first. If you don't put in the work, then there's no drive going forward. In fact, it's just like working against the wind. It's paddling upstream without a paddle. How many more metaphors can I use? It's too challenging. You will not find success, and I think that's where you're feeling you are today. So that's what I would offer for you. That's what's holding you back, and that's what can move you forward. Make sense? Lady, I have to tell you, how will you find it? We'll first work on identifying the skills, identifying possibly the hidden skills, pull your cards for that, and then start to work through your network. Actually, it's an Irish whiskey, and start to work through your network. But first, you got to put in that work. Then you're going to start to get real specific and narrow down what jobs you want to start applying for. So once you've done that, then you can jump into something like Indeed or Career Builder or LinkedIn and start looking for those jobs that have those skills. That's it. Lady, I have to tell you, I love the posts you do on Twitter about your kids. Okay, then you may want to seek out a reader that can do another reading for you and help you identify those if you're not sure if you can do the reading for yourself. Yeah. when you, I think you can do it. I think you can do it. I'm pretty sure you can. Your kids are a freaking riot. I love it. They remind me of me and my brothers and sisters when we were growing up. You're welcome. And they remind me of family friends of ours who have imaginations that are off the charts because they're not hindered by what they're being told from this little magic box that has a lot of images on it. You know, they're out in the world and playing in the forest and creating things that they find. I love it. That's how I grew up, and I love to see kids experiencing the world in their imaginations in a way that is not controlled by something like TV. It's fascinating to see where we can go. It is. I can't tell you how many animal teeth, bones, leaves, sticks, rocks, and things I had in my room or brought home that were all these magical instruments of who knew what that I needed to keep. I had this huge chunk of obsidian for years. I don't know where it is now. I have to see if I can find it. It's in Oregon somewhere, but probably in a storage box. I need to find it. It would hurt you. So for those who have joined, who may not have been here before, welcome. Thanks for joining. My name's Seth. I run Coming Out Tarot, and if you want to find out more about me, you can click on the link in the profile. A mummified bunny. Yeah, you probably didn't want to bring that inside. Nobody needs whatever was growing in that or living in that inside. And welcome, Mab. I can only imagine. Hey, dude. So if you want to find out more about me, go ahead and click on that link. If you're interested in getting a reading, let me know. I'm pulling 2 cards for folks. Welcome to River Song. Your first day on Periscope. Are you the same 2 River that I've seen before? Do you just have a new account? So if you're interested in reading, let me know. I'm pulling 2 cards for people for free. When there's a list, if you're interested in jumping to the front of the list, then a donation on there with the PayPal link will certainly get you to the front of the line. So donations will jump you to the front of the line. Otherwise, you just have to wait your turn. All right, Zach, what's your question? So 2 cards. I'm really good at actionable advice, moving you on to your next step in order to achieve something. Dude, so generally about what? Dude. Sure, X, but I'd have to think about what I wanted a reading on. So I will narrow you down, Zach. Generally about what? I think you were probably here when I was doing X's reading. If you noticed, I tied him down too. What's coming to you next? So just like I mentioned just a second ago, I'm not a predictive reader, I'm an action-oriented reader. So I'm really good at helping you figure out the next steps to achieve something. Hey, Amuk. So is there something you have a question about specifically? Is there something you're trying to reach, a goal you're trying to achieve? Like a new job, or trying to change a relationship, or find a relationship, or thanks for the retweets and the shares. Okay, so about a relationship, are you in one today? Are you looking for one? Are you single? Are you in a relationship? Because relationships are a really broad topic. And I wanna do the best I can for you. So you're in a great relationship. Awesome. So, what is it about your relationship that you have questions about? Because if it's great, you probably don't need me, right? Welcome back, dude. Thanks, lady. Right? I mean, if it's great, what do you need me for? Not that you need me if it's bad, but if it's great, there must be something that you would love to ask about. So Megan, I've got you on the list. There's one after Dude is after Sack, and then you. If you're interested in jumping ahead of Dude, all you have to do is use the PayPal link in there and donate. Still trying to narrow down Sack's question. So what do you think, Sack? Are you going to have kids? Well, so that's a great question that you could probably answer by having sex or not using protection while having sex. Since I'm not a predictive reader, that's something that I would leave up to you and the choices that you make. Would you like to ask a question that is more related to what kind of, yes, yeah. So do you want to ask more about, like how you would be able to do that? A lot of sex. Thanks, lady. So are there health concerns in how you're in having children for you? Is that something that you're trying to work through? Are you going to have twins? Okay, again, that's up to your body. So I'm a twin, by the way. That's up to your body. So I'm not a predictive reader. I'm not going to predict if you're going to have twins. I can help you on action items in order to achieve a goal. So I'm trying to think if there's another way that I can share with you that I'm not going to predict that you'll have twins. So if you're looking for a predictive reader, this may not be the best scope for you. Actually, it's my twin is a girl and she's not. So I am a fraternal twin. There can be fraternal twins that are both boys too. I've known a lot of gay identical twins that one is gay and one is not. I think it's interesting. Okay, so about job. Do you have a job today? Are you trying to find a job? Or if you're in a job, are you happy with the job that you're in and you're trying to get out, or you're trying to get a promotion? Sorry, I just threw a lot at you. Yes to which one of those? You're bored in your job. Okay. So are you looking to leave your job? Are you looking for a promotion? Are you looking to find how you can re-energize yourself in the role you're in today? You want something new. Okay. So let's take a look then at what's holding you back from finding a new role and what can move you forward into finding a new role. How does that sound? Okay. I didn't think I was going to let you off easy. Tarot readings work. You've embarrassed yourself before? Oh, don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. We just had to get on the same page. So please, don't be embarrassed. I would think if there was a possibility of me having twins, I'd want to know too. You just got to find the right reader to answer the question. Remind me to tell you about my mother's experience finding out she was having twins. It's quite the experience. Okay, initially, my first reaction to this, and I'll show you these in a second, is you need to look to your past in order to find the new role. Maybe I'll figure out what that means in a second, but you need to look to the past. So your answer is in previous iterations of jobs that you've had or have been interested in. It's in the past. Hey, Jen. I'm assuming that's Jen McRussy. The card that I've drawn for what's holding you back in finding this new role is Nine of Wands. So, hi. Actually, I don't know. So these are action items. These are things that are holding you back and something that can move you forward. What I see right now is both of these characters are looking to the left, and usually that means to me that there is something going on in the past. So there is a degree of information in your past that can help you identify what that role is. The first thing that's holding you back is the Nine of Wands. What's important to me here is that he's on this horse that's bucking, but he's not paying any attention. So it's like he's in this, and when I say he, I'm also talking about you. It's like he's in this space of upheaval that he can't control. So the hindrance to you is not having control over everything that's putting you in a state of unrest or out of control. You finding the past role, the role in the past. I think this was a job that you had before. Finding the role that you have in the past that was like and this is what's moving you forward is the Queen of Pentacles. Finding that job that was like you loved, it was a hands-on kind of job, is what's going to move you into that new space. Now I say new even though it's something you've done before. So the role that you mentioned, is that one that you've done before? My foot was cramping, I had to move. Yeah, so if that's the one that's jumping out to you, I would start there, because it is a way to get yourself out of the unrest and upheaval that you're in now in a way that you are stable and in control, and a place where you innately understand how things work. So you're not in a place of like, what? I need what? You're in more of a place of, oh, okay, you need to do A, B, and C, because that's just the way things work, and it's part of who you are. I would even say you're probably inspired by it, and you find yourself aspiring to do better at that job. Does that sound fair? Does that sound like you find yourself in that role, like aspiring to be better, and you just kind of get it and you feel it and it's in your bones? Mm-hmm. Then, okay, so let me build on that. This little rabbit here has been standing out to me. Can you see the rabbit by my finger? Has been standing out to me in this card. You want to have lots of kids? Well, then that explains the rabbit. The rabbit's been standing out to me, but I didn't know why. I've just been kind of waiting to figure out why the rabbit was important. That's there you go. Rabbits are also often about creating a family, or at least having lots of sex. What was interesting to me is that all of the flowers, there's a lot of flowers in this card too, and the flowers and the comfort of this card were standing out along with the rabbit. So it is a stable, safe space with this rabbit. So I say the teaching thing, if that's what stands out to you, makes sense. Without doing a larger reading, I'm not going to say that the teacher's the right role. What I'm saying is something in a role that you had in your past is where you need to look. It will reduce the unrest, and the rabbit makes complete sense to me if you're looking at this as a role that means caretaker at home as an educator for a family. So I can see that in this. So I would use this as confirmation of that. But if you wanted to do a larger reading that has more information in it, you're welcome. You can just go to comingoutarot.com and find out how to get a reading from me and go find some more detail. So I hope that's helpful. I'm glad you stuck around and we figured out kind of how to narrow for you so we could get to something specific that could help you instead of the general, right? I love to be more specific. So thank you. Okay. So for those of you that have joined, thanks for joining. If you're wondering who I am, my name's Seth. I run Coming Out Tarot. And if you want to find out more about me, there's a link in that profile. You can go click on the About page at comingoutarot.com, find out more about me. There's also a link in there, something called like 10 questions to ask to ask a tarot reader. So, and I've answered those, so you can find out more about me and what kind of reader I am. I am not a predictive reader, so if you're looking for predictions, you won't find those here, but you'll find action items in order to help you take your next step. And what today is, on Friday nights, I like to jump on and do some free readings for folks, just covering a couple cards where I can give you some actionable steps on whatever it is you'd like to choose next. So I pull a card for what's holding you back and a card for what can move you forward. And then if you want to take those into a larger reading, you can jump on that link there as well. I do have a line of 2 people right now. If you're interested in jumping to the front of the line, there's a link in there for a donation, the PayPal button, and all you have to do is use that link and you can jump to the front of the line. So the next person is Dude. Dude, are you still here? I've seen you. Dude, welcome back. You're next. But you keep I keep losing you. You're Babs. Are you really Babs, or did you mistakenly spell back? Okay, good, you're Babs. Sometimes I don't know with, the way people can make spelling mistakes. All right, Babs, Barbara, Babs. What's your question? And since you've been around, we'll narrow it down if it's not narrow. Jen, are you on your way home? Jen, you should follow Lady. Check on the list on who's on here. You should follow Lady. And if you're not following her on Twitter, I think you get a kick out of her Twitter account. Awesome. So you're working on attracting your perfect partner. Okay. Yep, that's her. Click on that right now, Jen. Click on that and follow her. What should you focus on? Okay. Let's see. Why do you always have the 2 today? Okay. Love the way this deck shuffles. Drawing a lot of court cards today. It's kind of interesting. Okay, so Babs, the card I drew for what's holding you back in finding this this amazing relationship soulmate person is the Page of Cups. 2 things stand out to this for me. One, Okay, I'm just going to say what I'm seeing on this. So, one, you're looking too young, like way too young. You need to, like, your age or older. Too young, they're not ready for you, and you can't handle them. 2, it's like you're looking for the depths of their soul, and it's too early for that. Right? You kind of need to get to know somebody before you get to know the depths of their soul. So Find out if you two like the same thing. Find out if you even like you appreciate the same things or not. It's kind of like knowing that somebody else likes to go to museums and you like to go to museums, so let's go to museums together. That's great, that's fun, but maybe the other person doesn't like to go to museums at all, and you think, oh, well, this isn't going to work out because we just do not really balance each other out. So the whole like, well, let me see into your soul and see if I'm even going to like you kind of thing, that's way too intense. Plus the like, you're robbing, I'm going to say robbing the cradle, but you know, you're looking a little too young, and so they may not even have the depth of soul that you're looking for, right? They may not even be ready for that. So I think those are two things that are holding you back from being successful in finding this ideal partner. What can move you forward? This is going to be fun. The Ten of Swords. Dun dun dun. What can move you forward in the Ten of Swords? And actually, it's the body. Not often is the body important to me in the card. The body is super important. It is complete and utter release and control of everything you're trying to like keep a hold of. You can't anymore. You got to stop. Like all of these things these rules you're trying to put in place, you need to stop. In order to move forward, you have to let this thing just be. And you know what? I don't know. I would have to pull additional cards to give you that answer. To me, this is you trying to put strict rules or ideas in place about how things should go. You need to let all of that go. There is also important to me this like red, what looks like flow of blood from this body, even though it's more like a cape, but it looks like a flow of blood. There are more swords in that than not. What does that mean to me? It's just like it's constantly running through these ideas. Ooh. Yeah, I think you're trying to force. It's like you're trying to force the way what you believe on other people. And this is part of what should be moving you forward. So the way I'm going to translate that, because I'm just saying words out loud right now, the way I'm going to translate that is what you believe hold as value. So rather than force your ideals, morals, values on other people, you don't need to force them. They're your own. Let them be a guide for you in saying, this is the way I choose to live. I'm going to let go of all the other rules and crap that I think I need to have in place in order to make a relationship or find a relationship that will be successful. Let go of all of that. But let your values, your morals, let those be guideposts for you. And say, these are the things that are important to me, and that's what I'm going to stick to. I'm going to release everything else. And everything else you need to release are the things that don't matter. Like, whatever you think doesn't matter. There could be so many things that you might think doesn't matter, or I might think doesn't matter, but could be extremely important to you and be part of the value system. So I'm not even going there. That would be additional cards to pull. So those are the two things that I would share with you. What's holding you back? Getting too young, looking too deep into soul, and what can move you forward is releasing all those rules that you might have in place about what it means to have someone who is the ideal partner, and trusting your morals, values in order to help you find the right person. Good, thank you. Okay, Awesome. All right. Is Megan still here? It's getting close to dinner time. Hey, Megan. All right. What's your question? I have my handle deck by me if I need it. But so far I haven't. I felt like I needed to use the Rider-Waite today. I don't know why. It's just a thing. And I trust that. So I expect to be doing, just as a reminder, I expect to be doing tarot lessons hopefully tomorrow morning around 11 on Periscope. I wonder if I need to discuss some issues with the boss at work because it could bring disaster. But it could also bring great changes. Okay. So are you wondering what the outcome is if you I don't know yet. I can't remember. I have to look. So you're wondering Megan, are you wondering what the outcome's going to be if you choose to share with your boss? Looking for advice if you should mind your own business or bring it up. Well, let's look then at, let's say you choose to bring it up. Let's look at two of the most effective things you can do to bring it up in a way that is thoughtful. What about that? So we can help you bring it up in a way that is mindful, thoughtful, not in a way that is inconsiderate or rude. Would that be helpful? Okay, let's do that. Hey, Queen. Jen, you may want to follow Queen too. Okay, Megan. So the first card that I drew is the Seven of Swords, and this is I drew cards to say, okay, what are the actions you can take in order to impart this information in a way that is thoughtful and not construed in a way that may be challenging or frustrating, or like telling on somebody else. So to me right now, this card is about distance. It's about sharing whatever it is that you have to share. A successful way to share it is distancing yourself from the issue at hand. So rather than sharing the story how it's personally affecting you, it needs to be shared in how it is affecting the rest of the organization or a department. It doesn't need to be shared in a way that is personal, right? So the more you can distance yourself from the issue at hand as you share what's going on, the better that conversation will go. Partially because it's going to help you it'll help you not be emotionally invested in what's going on, and it will create a space that is about the either the event that occurred rather than the drama that surrounds it. So that's one. Two, second way to approach is the Hanged Man. Hey, Ben. For me, when I see the Hanged Man, especially in the Rider-Waite, it's about acceptance. It's about accepting that things are what they are, and you just need to be okay with that. So you, it looks scary. Yeah, no, it's not scary. It's especially in this deck, to me, it is truly about accepting the way things are. So if you share this information with your boss, the other tactic you can take is, listen, this is the way that things are. This is the way things have been going, and I just want to share that with you. So you have all the information you need, and it has to be in a place of, listen, I just know that this is the way things work and the way things are. So I think the hardest part about that is that there is emotional investment in that space. It's hard to distance yourself emotionally by saying, I've accepted this, I think this is just the way things are going to go, and I want you to know. Versus having that like very distanced conversation I mentioned before that is basically about the facts and pulling yourself apart from it and saying, I just want you to know that this is going on in the organization. It's less of an acceptance, it's more of a just the facts, ma'am, kind of thing. Yeah. So it sounds to me like there's more going on than just you reporting, right? It sounds like you have an issue with your boss. It sounds like your boss is probably not one of the best bosses on the planet because they react in a way that is not favorable for people who share information, which is kind of a very challenging situation, so I understand why you asked. You're probably looking for a reading that is much larger than the two cards you're getting tonight. So I hope this is helpful in you making a decision about how you'd like to move forward next. But if you're looking for more information, you might want to think about getting a larger reading or working at it from a different angle that can give you all of the insight that you need rather than just two cards. So I hope that was helpful, or at least a start on a precipice. Well, that's good, at least. Okay, good. I'm glad. Okay, friends, I have time for one more, and then I need to go eat. So, anybody else interested? Had quite the parade of visitors tonight. Some good familiar faces, some new bodies. Sure. Surprised you're not home yet. Well, what's your question? Do I need to pull out my handle deck? Inspiration for staying in the present versus the past. Okay. Hey, Jessica. So I'll pull, not make excuses because of why things happen, but how to move forward. Okay. So I'll pull two cards like I've done before. One that will identify what's holding you back from achieving staying in the present, and one that can help you with how to move forward by staying in the present in order to stay in the present. Does that sound fair? Okay. Okay. So interestingly enough, after shuffling and shuffling and shuffling, the card I drew for you and what's holding you back, Seven of Swords. Doesn't that look familiar? Hi, Michael. Except what's important to me here, and how it's different from the last time I drew it for Megan, is the is actually the I can't remember what they're called, but the gentleman who's steering the boat. So the guy who's steering the boat is important to me, and he's not looking where he's going, right? He's actually kind of like he's like this. So what's holding you back is you don't have a clear idea of the direction that you want to move forward in. In fact, you're not even like looking all the way back. You're just kind of like to the side, and you're moving this thing forward, sort of. Like you're kind of like in pause mode, which is stagnation rather than actually doing something to move forward. So to me, you need to turn your head and start moving the stick so that the boat will move forward. Instead of being in this stagnation pace. And so what that translates to me in some regular speak is that get a clear picture of where it is you want to go, figure out the steps that you need to get there, and stop being distracted by whatever's going on over here. You need to get your your focus on. Get your blinders on like the horse and figure out where it is that you're going. What is interesting to me about that is that he does have this pressure. He does have this inclination to move forward, like the desire's there, but he's not doing anything. So to me, that is that you need to actually figure it out where you're going, like I just said, and then start doing something about it. So that's what's holding you back, is the stagnation and the loss of, or not the loss, but the lack of focus. Hey, Miss Nanny. The card that I pulled for what's moving you forward, and I think this is apropos, knowing you as I do, this is the Nine of Swords. The reason I say that I feel like this is apropos is you need to worry about it a little bit. I feel like, in knowing the you, and I'm going to use that to my advantage, that when you have the time to worry about something, you worry it to death until you've thought about all of the things you need to think about, and then you move forward. So you need to do that. You need to give yourself the time to worry through it, work through it, by worrying about it, and then you're going to find out what that direction in space is. And I think you've done that to some degree, isn't it? Yeah, I think you've done that to some degree, but I don't think you've done it to the length that you need. So you need to reach your state of worry completion in order to be able to move forward, and you haven't reached that state of worry completion yet. So yeah, right? Okay, good. So yeah, stop worry until you get to the end of your worrying, which means you've worked it out, you've worked through all of that. And even in this card, this guy's not paying attention either, right? His face is covered. So you're not ready to pay attention yet. Get through the worrying, then your hands drop, your focus starts to happen. Hey, Cosmic, your focus starts to happen, and you'll start moving that boat forward in the way that you need. Thank you. I would even suggest you need to get super obsessed with this. I mean, you need to, it needs to be a focus for you. And you need to drag Todd in with you. Todd needs to be a part of it. He can't be left out. Do you know? Okay. Well, let's see if he does. But you need it. You need to get obsessed with it. You need to drag him in. All right, friends. That's going to be the end for this evening. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing yourselves with me. And I really appreciate that you spent some time with me Friday evening. I plan on being on Periscope again tomorrow morning about 11 Central Time to do some more tarot lessons. I forget what the title is I'm going to do, but I'll share it with you guys later, probably on Twitter, so you know what's going to happen. And if you're in Chicago, Tarot Meetup, check out Chicago Tarot Meetup. I'm going to be doing tarot lesson on how to choose a tarot deck on the, I think it's the 24th. It's the, not next Tuesday, but the following, at the Chicago Public Library. And it's free, but there's only 9 spaces, and the registration will open up, I believe, on the 19th. So thanks everybody for stopping by. Cosmic, is always great to see you. I appreciate you dropping in. And Jen, I'll see you in a week. Lady, thank you. It's always a pleasure. So everybody have a great weekend.